So recently there's been a lot of talk about LR Vegito Blue. There's obviously a lot of good and there is obviously a lot of bad, and today we are going to discuss both sides. And like I mentioned it in my previous video, I'm basically joined by Truth. Well, I didn't mention the Truth part, but I'm joined by Truth and Truth today to go over the good and bad about LR Vegito Blue, and this is most likely going to be my final say on the matter. There's been a lot of misconception about what I said. A lot of people said that I was hating when that wasn't really the case at all. I kind of put my point across in the wrong way, but today going to address everything with Truth, of course, and just give my final opinion as to why I think certain things are the way they are. So welcome, Truth, to the video of that relatively long intro.
Yeah, what's up, bro? There's a lot to talk about with Vegito. It'll be never ending.
It really is. And one thing that people will have to realize, and of course we will get into that in a few moments, is that Japan will always be the favorite, and that definitely does coincide with what we have to say. Let's start with the good, okay? Let's start with a bit of positivity. So, the good thing, straight off the bat, the LR election. The fact that they even gave us an option to choose the LR that we wanted next was absolutely insane. We had great choices like Super Saiyan 4 Goku wasn't personally one of my favorites, but then again, I don't like Super Saiyan 4. And I feel like another reason why I didn't necessarily like it that much is because, oh wait, you just legit dropped a Super Saiyan 4, so that's kind of the point, you see. But they put him in there nonetheless. Obviously, Vegito Blue did end up winning. I believe Super Saiyan 4 Goku was second and then Beerus in third, so they gave us all 3 spots, and we could potentially be seeing those ones in the future. Even if they don't particularly go off the results from the LR election, we are most likely going to see a Beerus at some point, right? It makes sense, because he definitely needs some sort of like new card, or a buff at the very least. If the STR one, Extreme Z Awakens, or even the Tech one, I'd imagine that they are going to be pretty solid overall. But LR election, that's like a great point. And do you have anything else to add to that?
Yeah, I thought the LR election was a great idea. When the news first came out, everyone was so excited about it. And there were a lot of candidates on there that were really interesting to a lot of people. I believe I voted for LR Beerus, but actually my number 2 option was King Piccolo was on there as well, because I've always felt like the Dragon Ball units have been they've been underrepresented in Dokkan the entirety of the game's existence. So I thought an LR King Piccolo would be very cool. Now, we basically have gotten confirmation from them that they would do LRs for the top 3 choices. So obviously we got Vegito Blue, Super Saiyan 4 Goku, and Beerus. So we know for sure that we'll get them at some point. Also, one last thing I do want to add into is that I've seen it, there's a misconception a lot where people think that Bojack was on the list, on the vote, and people say like, oh, you know, Bojack came out before LR Vegito Blue, but no other units that were on that list have been released on JP.
I'm on it right now. So it's Super Saiyan 4 Goku, Vegito Blue, Super Saiyan 3 Gotenks, Rage Trunks, Merge Masu, Kid Buu, Metacooler Army, Golden Frieza, Beerus, Team Bardock, Ultimate Gohan, Master Roshi with obviously Krillin, Goku, and Master Roshi, Great Saiyaman 1 and 2, I don't know why you would vote for them, Cell and Cell Juniors, and then Demon King Piccolo. The only one I realistically see just being released naturally, so to speak, is Cell.
Yeah, but even then, they have it listed as Cell and Cell Juniors. Like, I get the feeling that there's probably already an LR Cell in the pipeline coming to JP, because the 100%, they need, you know, 5 super types and 5 extreme types. So exactly. I definitely could see LR Cell will be coming anyway.
But low-key, I would have loved to see Fusion Zamasu. I would have loved to have seen that. And one,
I wonder why.
Just to quickly go off a tangent here. What I think LR Black and Zamasu should have been is what Super Saiyan LR Goten and Trunks were. So they have a super attack where they fuse into Merge and Masu. I think that would have been cool. I think that definitely would have been a great addition.
I mean, it certainly would work with the manga version of events where they defuse anyway. I mean, it could work.
Yeah, that's true. They could go down that road.
Remember, in the anime, they didn't defuse.
Yeah. It's a weird one, but I think it could have worked. Maybe.
It could.
Just have them break the Batara or something along those lines. But anyway, the second good thing is that he is a free unit, okay? And that was one of, like, the biggest questions when they announced the winner. Is he going to awaken from the physical one? Is he going to be someone that is featured on a legendary rare banner? Is he going to be unfeatured on double rates or just some random banner that they put it out there? Is he going to be just completely free? And it turns out that he is completely free. You buy him with a Supreme Kai currency and he only costs 20, which is... Okay, keep that in mind. Keep that current cost in your mind. Just embed that into your head because it comes back to a negative later on, which Truth is going to go over. And then, potentially best unit in the game. So, at the moment, we currently know what his Transcended Ultra Rare does. And, obviously, he doesn't have counters and the additional attacks at the moment. But you have to keep in mind that there isn't a current base Vegito in the game that has counters or the ability to super attack multiple times. So, obviously, we are going off what the other Vegitos can do. And if he does, in fact, get those abilities once he Dokkans, he is going to easily be the best unit in the game. But definitely is a bit of a stretch, don't you think?
Yeah, I could see them making him really good, but like, if you just change nothing about his TUR version, his TUR version, by the way, is attack and defense 60%, and then he can raise his ki up to 8. If you change nothing about that, but just add counters to that, he's probably the best unit in the game. Like, because he'll be an LR with, stats of, maybe, above 17,000 attack, something like that. And then, the counters are based specifically on your attack stat. The amount of damage he'll be dishing out will be insanity. So,
because he's STR as well, bro. And he can get free dupes.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't see them adding counter or additional to him, but every single Super Saiyan version of Vegito has either additional attacks or counters. So it's really hard to tell what exactly they're gonna do with him here.
Yeah, and we've both used a 100% Super Vegito, right? This man, okay, regular Super Vegito, a Transcended Ultra Rare Physical Super Vegito can get a counter hit, 4 million damage. So imagine what an STR LR Vegito could do. Like,
yeah, it would be a lot more than that.
Monstrous amounts of damage. Like, in a single, especially with the additional attacks, that can easily get to, 10 million, I'm not even joking. With crits as well. And
you mentioned it, yeah, and he's an SCR type, so he can get 20 crit instead of 15 that the physical Vegito can.
That is a 40% chance. That is massive. 40% chance?
That's why I don't see it. It's too...
Yeah.
For a free unit, it's too much. I'm shocked. I was dead wrong. I thought for sure there is no way he is not a summonable LR. I thought they would make him, as Rhyme always says, fake featured. I thought they would make him fake featured on an LR banner, and, people would... How much money would people drop? It would be...
Bandai. They would have...
Global would be won for days.
Exactly. They would not... They would get to the point where they wouldn't even know what to do with their money. It would be that much.
That's why I'm still kind of surprised. Like, I feel like they left a lot of money on the table with this. But it is still positive that, everyone can get them easily.
True. It's like, and I've kind of said this before, because Bandai tends to mess up quite frequently, and obviously this kind of relates to the negatives. They kind of, do good things once in a while, but then they go back into this period and they're well, we have to show that JP is the favorite. And another example of this, I would imagine that some of you guys maybe saw it on Twitter, obviously... The global side of things had this speed battle event, obviously on global, quite a few months back at a convention, and I believe the prize for the speed battle thing was a pack of gum, according to Dino. But they jumped over to Japan. They legit have a trophy, bro. It's a trophy with a massive dragon stone. It's just well, I'm clearly going to end up stealing this. Not really, but
not even that. I was actually watching the live broadcast. Talon was in there. There was a couple other people I recognized in there. The top 3 all got a copy of Xenoverse 2, and then the winner also got the reward.
If that's not a clear sign of favoritism, I don't know what is. And you just have to keep in mind that the Japanese version of the game is always going to be the favorite no matter what, because of course that is where the game originates. That is where just everything originates, and essentially when they outsource these games, it's just a way of making more money, obviously.
Yeah, the other thing too is... It's important for people to understand that this is not specifically a Dokkan issue. It's just kind of how it is in Japan. They protect their own. They care more about their own. And, the West and stuff were frowned on a little bit. They care more about making, the Japanese version of stuff amazing. And then whatever they give to the West to make some money off of us, they'll toss it out there. One example I've been really hot about lately is the original Yu-Gi-Oh! Manga was completely recolored, full color, beautiful, and it was released only online, digitally in Japan, and you can only buy it in yen, but we never got it translated to English, and you can't even get it with English money. This is just the way it is when it comes to Japan, and they kind of protect their IPs.
Yeah, exactly. There's just no way around it. That's the way it's going to be the entire time. So, like, it's important to not have high expectations because things like this tend to happen. It's not to say that they don't do good things for Global, because they definitely have. Good examples of this. Obviously, we have better celebration for Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta and Omega. We had a better celebration for Vegito Blue and Rose. We had the LR Goku Black featured, LR Gohan fake featured. It's not okay. That man was not featured. He still had the terrible rates, but technically he was featured. So I'm just gonna put that out there anyway. So
it was kind of scummy, but at the very least, there are people who basically got LR Gohan for free.
Yeah,
not a lot, but someone did.
So there are definitely certain positives, and another thing I didn't mention is, you know, the buff that they gave to Goku Black. You don't see that. That is never going to happen on JP, by the way. But
oh yeah, definitely not.
Little changes like that just show you how they kind of care, but only how do I put this? They care enough to the point where you're still giving them stuff back, you know.
They care enough to the point where you're still spending money for them.
Exactly. You just made my point much better. So I think we've pretty much gone over all the good stuff. Now the bad stuff. By far, the worst thing about this entire LR election was just the lack of communication. It's just absolutely terrible. And it's always been a case when it comes, even on the Japanese version of the game, the communication isn't like that great. But just the fact that we almost went an entire year without hearing anything about it is terrible. Like, just absolutely terrible. They could have said, okay, so you can expect to see this legendary rare in the next few months, okay? Or in the next 4 months. You can expect it to be a Christmas thing. Just something along those lines so that we know when it's coming out. And
the problem is that even one sentence would have sufficed.
Exactly, just one sentence, like, it's going to come out in 5 months, 4 months. Just that would have made a massive difference, because we know when to expect, instead of just being like, okay, is it going to come out now? We don't know. And they are constantly dropping content without a single mention of LR Vegito Blue. Just anything. That, like, even Dino, like, he did not know nothing, and he just completely gave up on it. And obviously recently we kind of, like, they gave us the Vegito, or the starting Vegito, and it's like, well, okay, when are we gonna be able to awaken him and such? It's just so annoying, because we don't know what's coming up, and it's just like, I know can't speak. A few people are gonna say, stop complaining is a free card. That doesn't excuse lack of communication. Saying stuff like that is what allows them to keep doing what they are doing. Okay, we can't just be like, oh, you know, can't complain, it's a free card. Well, we should complain, because it shows them that they should execute these things in a better manner, because they can't just constantly be pushing the global players around. Like, the entire thing with Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta and Omega just showed how poorly they can treat the player base, and the fact that they did it again now is just like, okay, are you joking? At the very least, give us another day, because that's the thing. They didn't give us a day on when this is going to be obtainable, and I'm going to lead it into you now and explain what you told me prior to the recording.
Oh, yeah. I'll get to that, but one important thing, guys. There is a difference between criticism and complaining/hating. In no world is it okay for them to say, here you go, guys. This gift to the community, the LR election, you all voted for it, you want it. Dead silence for 6 months after. That's not right. It's not. If it is intended, this is a point I saw someone on Twitter tweet this out. I got to use this point. If it was intended to be giving back to the community, then it just shows how much they care about us if it's going to go this long. It is not a priority for them. It never was. They just let it sit there. They saw our anger bubbling up. I don't care. They can see when a ton of people complain about something, for sure. They saw the anger bubbling up, and they sat there and they counted their dollar bills. They were lighting cigars with $100 bills. They didn't give a damn. They deserve to be criticized for not giving us any info. It's a valid criticism. It really is. Now, go ahead.
I don't know. It just goes back to, like, the entire lack of communication thing. It's just terrible, to be honest.
Now, the other thing, too, to be released, right? This Vegito is released. A lot of people are thinking, finally, we'll be able to get him to LR, but we're only able to get 2 copies. You know, you can't 100% him. You can't get him to LR. Now, why is this? So I was looking through it. If you guys are not aware, on the global version, I believe, you can go up to Area 7 in the story, and you can get the Kaioshin missions done, right? Is that correct? Area 7 is what they just added?
Area 7's recently added, yeah.
Okay. On JP, Area 8 and 9 are also available to get these Kai Stones. Now, it was said in the news that the Potara medals, by the way, will be obtained with these, like, Kai Stones from the Supreme Kai missions. I'll read it verbatim for y'all. Right here. On top of that, you will be able to get the Awakening Medal Potara from the Supreme Kai's trial in the future to Dokkan Awaken Vegito. So it's implying that we'll be able to use the Supreme Kai Stones to get the medals. That's what you would take away from that, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so if we consider that Vegito was surprisingly cheap at only 20 Kai Stones apiece, everyone was surprised by that. I thought it was because they released Area 7 with enough Kai Stones to get both Vegitos, because many people, including me, had already farmed up all of the Kai Stones and used them all before it was revealed that this is how we would get LR Vegito. So I think they added in Area 7 with all of the Supreme Kai Stones you could get, enough to get the 2 base form SDR Vegitos for the people who had already farmed him up, because there was a lot of people who were concerned that, yeah, it's awesome he's arriving, it's awesome all of you guys are going to be able to get him, but I already used all mine up, I can't get him.
Yeah.
So, if we look to what the next 2 areas that will be released for Global and the missions are, in Area 8, there are missions that require you to be using a category, like a team that has 2 characters from the Mixed-Blooded Saiyan category in it. And also, there is one that requires 2 characters from the category Revived Warriors to be in it. So, to me, if we take all this info together, it does seem as though LR Vegito Blue will not be coming out this week. He's not coming out next week. He's not coming out for Christmas. It looks like he's not going to come out until after SCR Ultimate Gohan and also Intelligence Angel Golden Frieza are out, because they would need to put those categories into Global before you can actually even do these Kai missions to get these stones to then buy not only more Vegitos, but also more Potara medals so you can even awaken him at all. What do you think?
Honestly, like, I don't want it to be true, but it definitely does seem like a big possibility. Like, after you mentioned it, I was like, wow, they are actually going to end up doing this. And it's ridiculous, because you'd think that they would have everything together at this point, but it's like, no, we don't. And again, it goes back to a lack of communication. It took way too long to get here. It wouldn't have been that much of an issue if they communicated. If they were, like you said, if they said a single sentence saying, this is going to come out during Christmas or something, people would not have cared as much. And
it would have required no effort to make just a small news update on Legendary Election campaign. Expect solid info on him before the end of the year. Something like that. Boom. That's all they would have needed to do. Give us info. They gave us none.
And it just goes back to, like, even on JP, the communication is just such a big issue. And I don't know. I think they are at the point that they have seen that they can do what they want and still get away with it. So they're just going to keep going on like that. Yeah,
I mean, Gogeta and Omega Shenron didn't have leader skills. A lot of us were mad, but they were still #1 worldwide in all the app stores.
Exactly. And what does that show them? Oh, okay, they like it. Yeah, they like it. Clearly, no, we don't. But
people were mad at the thank you celebration. Guess what? They were #1 worldwide in the app store.
But again, I think we've pretty much covered everything. Funnily enough, the good kind of outweigh the bad, but I think the bad just kind of sticks out more because of how ridiculous it is. But thank you for joining me in this very interesting topic.
Yeah, no problem. It's fun. I'm sure. Don't worry. He's not going away anywhere. We'll be talking about him for months to come.
For sure. Well, I would imagine that a lot of stuff is going to happen if he's not that great. But anyway, let's see. I think I've pretty much covered everything. Subscribe to True if you haven't already. Makes awesome content, and he's going to showcase a pretty special unit relatively soon. Anyway, yeah, any last words?
Hey, thanks for having me, bro.
No worries. And I will see you all in the next one.